Hi, I'm Allie,
I'm Ben.
and we're going to be talking about our experiences with technology. First starting with the technology that we use the most when we were younger, which would be computers. I personally would play computer games in my spare time a lot, and my favorite game would probably be a Barbie game, fashion design, that I absolutely loved. And then after I graduated from that, I would move on to math games and just play and solve math problems on the computer. Ben, what did you do?
I was a big gamer on the online games when they first came out, and games were available to be played over the internet with anyone in the world. I remember when I got my first game, I played it probably for an entire weekend, and I would end up, because I was so involved in it, I ended up sleeping, eating, and drinking anything for the entire weekend at my computer, and pretty much didn't leave. That led me into a pretty nerdy stage in my life, but it was a lot of fun. I don't regret it. I definitely enjoyed playing those games.
Very nice. So the technology that I use the most today would definitely be my cell phone. And I got my first cell phone in 9th grade. I was so excited. I thought it was really cool, even though it was a little brick about this big. And in retrospect, it clearly does not have all the capabilities and the technologies that my phone has today, but I thought it was really cool. And one of the things about using my cell phone was that when my mom got one, I would have to teach her everything, how to put numbers in her phone, how to text message, basically how to even call someone. She was totally incompetent with using a cell phone. However, my dad just picked it up really easily, and he didn't need any of my help. He'd be the one that was showing me how to do things, and then I would in turn have to help him.
My first experience with a cell phone was kind of the same. It was very large, weighed a lot, and you had to unfold it into a million pieces for it to even work. It's not like today's, thin phones or the flip screens. My dad was also kind of the same way. I've pretty much paralleled him in every phone that he's gotten, so every time that I get a new phone, he usually has had it for a little while or has just gotten it, and he ends up explaining to me a lot of the features that you really had to read the instruction manual for, because I never read that. When my mom ended up getting a phone, she was pretty much also the same. She had no idea how to work it, and basically has the most simplified phone on the market right now, just to make calls and stuff. And I know that my grandparents actually have a phone, which is kind of funny. Cause
my grandparents have a cell phone too. They don't really know how to use it though, but it's okay.
Yeah, neither do mine. They pretty much have one of the originals from the 90s where, I don't know, it's probably about 3 inches thick, and the battery lasts for about 20 minutes because they just use it for emergencies. So my first experiences with computers was probably around middle school. I started out with PCs, which is still what I'm using today, and the computer has become a pretty much essential part of my life. A couple years ago, Macs really started making it big, into the technology sector, and they really started becoming popular, and I wanted to change, but it always became very difficult because my dad's business gets a ton of Dell computers, so we'd always get them for a reduced price, so my dad would never go out and front the money for a Mac when he could get a computer for much cheaper. So unfortunately, I was never able to make the switch to Mac, which has developed into a very much of a hate for Windows and PC, because currently I have a Dell with the Windows Vista system, and it's horrible. Everything gets ruined, it freezes, the whole system pretty much just doesn't work, and I know that my next computer is definitely going to be a Mac. It's going to be unfortunate that I'll have to front the money for it, but it's definitely going to be a Mac since they always seem to work much better. So how about you, Allie? How did you switch over to Mac?
I made the transition from PC to Mac my senior year. My dad would always buy a Dell computer as a family computer, and then my senior year he decided to buy a Mac laptop. and every day I would take the laptop and I would go in my room and I would just use it for all my work. And I would hide the computer underneath my bed, and he knew that I had it, but he just kind of let me have it. We shared it for that year, and then when I was figuring out what kind of computer I wanted to get for college, I knew right away that I wanted a Mac, and it wasn't hard making the transition for me. I just used it and played around with it, and then I figured it out. So.